Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, I got this. Hi guys, and welcome back to Reading on the Right. Hi guys, and welcome back to Reader on the Right. I'm Rachel, and today I have a very special guest with me.
Hello.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Aaron James, and I'm a YouTuber, Instagram, all that stuff. And I talk about like theatre, Disney, LGBT plus stuff, which is kind of linked with this today.
Yeah.
And I read books too.
It's great.
Yeah.
He's a wonderful guy. I'll leave all of his links down below so you can go and follow him and catch up with everything that he's doing. Subscribe to his wonderful channel. Today I thought I'd talk about something a little bit different for my channel.
Yeah.
So I usually read a lot of magical realism, short stories, plays, but what I don't read a lot of or review a lot of is YA, which is something that I used to read a lot of a few years ago.
Yeah.
I've sort of diverted from it now, but I absolutely love YA. And this guy right here is like the dream advocate for YA. He's great. And there is a lot of discussion about YA on BookTube, and I don't see why we can't be part of that big discussion. So I have some questions for Erin that he sort of knows about, sort of doesn't.
Vaguely.
I'm just going to throw them at him, and we're just going to have a little candid chat, basically.
Yeah.
Drink some sangria, have a great day.
Yes.
It's going to be great. Are you ready?
Yes.
So my first question is, what was your first introduction to LGBT characters in YA fiction? Can you remember the first book that you read that had
YA?
LGBT?
Actually, yeah. The first one, well, it's kind of younger than YA. It was really far back in the day. It was Secrets by Jacqueline Wilson.
That book was called Secrets. Am I thinking of a different one?
Oh wait, maybe it wasn't
on the
Secret.
cover. Let me Google it.
I remember obsessing over it actually.
So did
I
I.
reread it loads. And this was when I was definitely far from coming out as well.
Kiss. It was called Kiss. That's it.
Yes, Kiss.
That's. Oh, I don't know if that's that.
You can kind of see it, yeah, Kiss. Because I remember rereading it loads when and not really understanding why I was so intrigued and wanted to understand more. But I just kept rereading it, and now looking back, I'm like, oh, that's what that little teenage like child thought. Yeah. And why he was so intrigued in this character. This is my thing about having LGBT plus characters in like YA and any younger, and I'm a big advocate for it, is because that's how children learn. A lot of the things that, like, yes, their parents teach them, but mainly it's what they're given. So when they watch their TV shows, when they watch films, when they read their books, it's what characters they read from and they hear the viewpoints from. That really affects people. And if all of their books and stuff just have straight characters in, they're gonna just think that
everybody is.
Yeah, everybody's straight, and they're gonna think, and that's how they think everything's normal.
The second question is, have you experienced a bad example of LGBT plus representations in books? Can you think of anything where it is seen as more like a trend, or like it's just been written not necessarily from a queer perspective or somebody that's done any research? I'm struggling to think of an answer to this myself, but I know you've read it a bit more than I have, so I was just thinking whether you can think of anything that's not sat quite right with you.
A lot of authors, when they're writing, do want an LGBT character in there.
I mean, yeah, why wouldn't you?
Actually, tell a lie, I know of one that really bugs a lot of people, Dumbledore.
Yeah, okay, go on.
Because, just a random aside, because Dumbledore, J.K. Rowling said, he's been written as gay. It was a statement made afterwards, and rightly so, because it made a massive wave. But at the same time, in the books, etc., it's not covered, it's not developed. It's just and this has been happening with a lot of characters recently, especially in films, where they'll announce that the character is, or say that they are LGBT plus, and there's no exploration, there's no actual proof, like solid proof. It's all vague, exactly in the same way that it's kind of, you've got to kind of find the connotations and find all the reasonings for. If you want to tell the story of somebody who is, or especially if you're an advocate for like LGBT plus rights, or like education, because technically even like YA fiction is massive education. A lot of teens who haven't come out and don't know anybody who is gay or similar to them, and are too scared to say something because when they're coming out, because they're scared of coming out if they tell anybody, or like in search, they go to books that have LGBT plus characters. Even Rainbow Rowell, even though it's like she's a cisgendered straight woman, but how she's done all of her, like the gay characters in the books, like Simon and Baz, these are, you can obviously tell she has enough education and knowledge about this, kind of from who she knows, etc. but she's passing this on and through, and her narrative of like everything is just grand.
That is a perfect segue into my third question.
I seem to know this without actually realising what the next one is.
Is there a character in a particular YA book that you've read that feels like it represents you specifically as a person? Is there any character that you've read and gone, that is me?
Simon Spear, which is, I know it's really popular at the minute, like Love Simon, or Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda, which is the original book by Becky Albertalli. Simon was very similar to me in how I came out, in the fact that social media had a massive part of how I came out. And it's nice to see Love Simon written with really accepting parents.
Oh, it's one of my favourite parts of the narrative.
And this is what a lot of modern day families are like. It's not 10 years ago. This is a current voice.
As like a cisgendered white woman, I feel like I have a lot of representation in books, especially when I used to read YA, when there was the representation of like the shy, nerdy girl. I mean, bisexual is a very difficult thing, and I don't really feel like it's been that well represented on a whole. But in general, like I feel like I'm quite well represented. How does it feel for you to read something like Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda and be like, that is me? How does that feel?
I mean, like growing up as a teen, they didn't exist.
Yeah.
They just weren't pushing LGBT plus fiction at all in bookshops, which is where you need to be like, hello, this is here. And it's so nice now to go into Waterstones or to Foils, and they actually had dedicated tables just for Pride books, just for ones that represent the community. Yeah. And some people might be like, isn't that like segregating
them again?
But no, because it's so hard to like, it's so hard in a bookstore to go through the books and find those books that represent you. Every book in YA fiction I ever read was just a straight girl falling in love with a straight boy. Yeah. And then I was like, well, I don't really know who I relate to.
You can enjoy them.
Yeah,
and like, I mean, I read a lot of, you know, fiction with like lesbian characters or, you know, homosexual couples, and while I don't personally relate to it, I can still enjoy it, but actually to feel like you're represented, that's the sort of thing that you need.
And for like Simon to come out and so many others like Carry On, which I absolutely loved, just the fact that you could get into this world and be like, oh my gosh, I get this.
Already sort of answered this, but this is my last question. For my channel, for these people that may want to read some LGBT YA, what books would you recommend?
So I think you should look into David Leatherton. So he kind of helped pioneer like the big change. Actually, also Juno Dawson, just that for a British writer, Juno Dawson, because she also wrote This Book Is Gay, which is very good for like your non-fiction side, which is just literally all facts, all education, learn.
Book. Yeah, I absolutely love it. I'm gonna suggest that you guys and you read Aristotle and Dante, Discover the Secrets of the Universe.
I do own it.
I made you buy it probably 2 years ago.
Yeah.
When I first read it, because it changed the way that I thought about homosexual representation in YA fiction.
Okay.
It is the most like a rom-com, but for two gay characters ever, and it is so beautiful. And I'm sure like a lot of people absolutely love it, and I'm sure you probably read it if you're interested. And that's probably my favourite LGBT YA book.
Yeah.
We did it!
We did it!
So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. It's just a little bit different for me. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, if you've got any books to recommend me, let me know in the comments down below. And also let me know what you think of this sort of format with my sort of candid chats drinking sangria. I mean, hopefully you like it. And I shall see you in my next video. Bye!